our breath back after John Henderson once again produced some highlights for the real at the German Darts Open 2019, knocking out the defending champion in the process. A 160 checkout to defeat Max Hupp. And Henderson has been in fine form this weekend. In both matches he took out show-stopping checkouts to win. But now it's over for a bit of Mensa-mania as Suljovic takes on Mickey Mansell, who booked his place in the second round with a win over Steve West yesterday. And we will see a difference in pace to most of the matches we've seen today, but for those who are expecting this to be a lengthy affair, bear in mind that the last two meetings between this pair were 6-0. And the most recent one was 6-0 to Mickey Mansell in Milton Keynes last year when he reached the quarterfinals. Paul Nicholson, are you expecting a repeat of that scoreline in this one, their first meeting in a stage event?
Probably not. 6-0 to Mickey Mansell against Suljovic. That's a result, isn't it?
Yeah, he went on to reach the quarters, lost out to Brendan Dolan, did win the Pro Tour event, of course, last year, Mickey Mansell. The previous time they met was in Ireland at the back end of 2016, and Suljovic whitewashed Mansell on that occasion.
Bit of a pattern occurring here, Chris.
Well, that's where the pattern ends, to be fair.
First leg, Mansell to throw first. Game on.
That whitewash win for Mansell, his only win against Suljovic in their 6 meetings.
Well, based on current form, you've obviously got to have Suljovic as the favourite. One of 6 players who got a point on Thursday in the Premier League.
Yeah, there's no sharing of the spoils on the European Tour.
Imagine how long the weekend would be if there were draws involved. Yeah, Suljovic has been playing a lot of darts in the last 18 months.
100.
Been involved in 2 Premier League campaigns. There's Team Suljovic on the left and what I think is Team Mansell on the right. We've got Steve Lennon and Brendan Dolan, who didn't play poorly yesterday, just didn't happen to win.
Yeah, played as well as anyone has. Brendan Dolan, 105 average in defeat to Jamie Hughes.
Brendan's going to be at the World Cup beginning of June, but he'll be playing with Daryl Gurney. He has played at the World Cup with Mickey Mansell, and they did very, very well. That was the year where Dolan was the MVP for me. He was outstanding. I'm talking up Northern Ireland's chances this year. I think they're sneaky good. I think they're going to be up there.
Well, there's quite a few teams that are looking good at the World Cup of Darts. Suljovic will be spearheading one of them.
Well, he had a nightmare last year, didn't he, was with Zoran Lerchbacher.
100.
Lerchbacher didn't turn up, and
yeah, they kind
Suljovic was furious.
Playing against each other rather than with, which is not the best game plan to hatch in a pairs event.
Yeah, I'd be interested to see who Suljovic partners this year, because I'm not so sure he'd be too keen to play with Zoran again. And you might think that we're harping on about the World Cup a little bit too much this weekend, but we're starting to build it up because it is very relevant. It's a great event. It's a little bit different. The only team style event that we play in the PDC. Mickey Mansell is playing steady at the start of this match, but he's already been shown by Suljovic that he's going to have a lot more visits of 2 trebles to stay with him.
60.
They're the kind of darts that he can't afford.
97.
57 then. And now double top. Well, he's chipped the 20 there. Taken a chunk out of the number. That was a miss by the margin of a mile from Mansell.
Yeah, that was a big miss.
I think it will be Zoran that he'll play with at the World Cup. Let's just see if Mickey Mansell can make the most of the miss. Double 12.
170.
Scared it. He'll be disappointed that he didn't get that.
40.
That really could have set the tone for Mickey's match. Now, Suljovic has had 2 sighters at tops. One of them he'd like to forget. The other one wasn't necessarily close either. So, change the target.
Yeah, everything but in Suljovic double attempt so far.
35.
And it goes on. It's going wrong.
24.
Mickey would be thinking, how come I've got this chance?
Well, it would be for a 7th consecutive leg against Mansell Suljovic.
Not many people have done that. He pushed that wire and made that segment smaller.
12.
Double trouble at the start of this one.
5.
Suljovic needs to take care of the big number first. I mean, I'm assuming it will be the 1.
But the way his darts lie, it's got to be a 1. Yep, there it is. He's going to miss, go low. Now, 1 dart, a double 1. Gets there.
Second leg, Mickey to throw first.
They see Shamrock Steve looking on.
Does that expression ever change? Should have called him Stone Cold Steve Lennon.
The look of Lennon. I mean, to be fair,
83.
didn't witness much to get excited about in that first leg.
So, going back to the World Cup for Austria,
Well,
is there anybody that can trouble Zoran Lerchbacher for his partner?
As far as I can see, no.
Because he has played with Roby John Rodriguez in the past.
Zoran Lerchbacher's ranked in the top 64 in the world, and Roby John Rodriguez is a long, long way behind him. In the 110s.
So it's looking like Zoran Lerchbacher is going to have an opportunity to
41.
maybe redeem himself from last year. However, Zoran is not in good form. We haven't seen him on the European Tour for a long time.
Unless there actually was a falling out between the pair and Captain Mansell
60.
decides not to pick that partner.
It may be the case, and for me,
I'm sure that's not the case, but
there was more chemistry with Roby John Rodriguez and more success.
yep, that's for sure. And you know about forming a team at the World Cup.
It's important. If you don't click with someone, then it can have a really bad effect on the result. We've seen that Phil Taylor and James Wade for England didn't work, but Phil Taylor with Adrian Lewis did.
Yeah, big
100.
TV tournaments coming up. Of course, the World Match Play in the summer as well, where Mansell Suljovic made the final last year. That marathon match with Gary Anderson.
How good was that match? It was littered with great matches. Like, I think, pound for pound, it was probably the greatest match play of all time because of the amazing matches that Gary was in with Joe Cullen, with Suljovic.
Yeah, the story of JDZ.
The 9-darter from Gary.
140.
It was magic. It was a great week.
Well, Mansell couldn't take out 141. Can he take out 114?
94. You require 141.
Now it's Suljovic's turn at 141.
Not going to get there. And Mickey comes back for double 10.
85.
This is the left-hander's double 8.
20.
Straight down the eye line. It's a good lie for a lefty. Even better now. Oh, big misses at this point of the match.
Well, if the last couple of meetings between the pair are anything to go by, the first leg really is important because whoever won it didn't lose another one.
Double 18 for Suljovic. And that's a lovely dart. There's that characteristic apology. I'm not sure why. The objective is to win the leg, and he did that, Mr. Suljovic.
The leg Mansell to throw first. Game on.
We saw Mansell win yesterday, but he's not having the best of times on tour this year. Hasn't won through his board on one of the Pro Tour events, meaning the maximum he's managed to win is 2 matches.
He has won through his board in qualifying, which I suppose if you win 2 games in qualifying, it's the same amount of money as the Pro Tour because you guarantee yourself £1,000.
Yeah, the European Tour qualifiers in many players' eyes are more important.
Yeah, because there's scope for more money. And MVG loves them. these events, doesn't he? Because it's more money for less games.
Yeah, he really does see it that way, Michael van Gerwen, but he's got
99.
the luxury of being able to pick and choose which events he plays in. He could take off the rest of the year and still be world #1. But more of a guide to where Mickey Mansell's forming is the average over
60.
the 23 games that he has played in the 12 Players Championship event, and it is less than 88.
It's not going to cut it much, really. You've got to be over that sort of 93 mark for me.
Yeah, it's quite low down on the list in that area. But he did
81.
up it, didn't he, against Steve West yesterday. Mid-90s then.
Yeah, it was much better. It was a real confidence boost for Mickey. And he will have been boosted by who he beat in qualifying, because he beat people who have got form, especially Richie Edhouse.
The 180 from Mansell leaves 161. Is he going to have to take it out?
96.
Possibly.
Mickey requires 161.
But Mickey knows, yes, he's 2-0 down, but he's had chances for both legs. He knows that Mensah's there for the taking.
Just the wrong side of the wire. Good correction. We saw a crucial 140 checkout from John Henderson in the 4th leg of the last match. Suljovic looking at the same shot in the 3rd of this. And it could be just as big. Just over the wire.
Can he find a 60?
60.
No, he had it covered.
He requires 78.
Would have needed to have been some kind of magician, I think, to find that treble 20. Mansell has had darts at double in every leg.
On the 3rd
Finally he
leg,
hits.
Mickey Mansell.
A little bit of frustration you feel from Mickey Mansell there. It's going to be one of those games. It's not going to be full of
4th leg, Mickey to throw first.
massive excitement. It's
Game
going to be a real workman-like attritional game, this. There's a lot of thinking going on from Suljovic at the back of the stage. He's been doing that a lot lately in the Premier League. He's been taking his time. And in one
60.
game on the European Tour back in Leverkusen, James Wade took exception to the amount of time that Suljovic took at the back of the stage. Well, here's the thing. In certain games, you get put on the clock. Darts isn't one of them.
Well, Mansell Suljovic, of course, will be the home hero in the Austrian Darts Open next weekend, and he is seeded to meet James Wade in the 3rd round. We could have a repeat of that.
Yeah, Wade's record against Suljovic isn't brilliant.
No, he did the same thing to him, really, in the Premier League. Now Suljovic goes 4 perfect darts in to a possible 9-dart leg. 5 and 6 follow.
190.
Well, are the crowd a little bit flat because of the fact that Hop has hopped out of the building? Well, if Suljovic gets the next one right,
140.
they'll be out of their
Mickey
seats.
requires 141.
We spoke about it after Steve Beaton delivered the perfect leg yesterday. The prospect of 2 in the same tournament. Suljovic cannot follow suit.
Still feel we might get a second one this week, you know. MVG's coming next,
43.
playing against
Mickey
Dimitri
requires
van den Berg, who
161.
can himself do 9 darters on big stages. So
Hit one at the Grand Slam last year, didn't he?
he did.
Well, he might not win the leg here, Suljovic, because Mansell's looking at treble 17. And he still might not, because he only managed to muster up 43 last visit.
Mickey requires
On 90, it's
98.
tricky. You get the 60, and he might go 10 double 14. Now he's definitely going treble 19. It's a messy performance so far from Suljovic. He is in the lead, but boys, there have been a lot of misses.
Yeah, back-to-back maximums at the start of this leg.
66.
Yeah, he hasn't had a dart at double.
You require 64.
And Mansell after 12.
Treble 8. He's a tops man, so he goes for the smaller treble.
Well, now he's got his dart at tops, and who would have thought he would have been first to a double?
24.
Couldn't find it. And that's been Mickey's problem in this match, hasn't it?
If Suljovic gets this 32 in one dart, it'll almost be the strangest 13 dart leg I've seen in a while. Takes his time, wraps his hand around that dart.
Certainly be one of the longest.
2 8s for 3-1. Doesn't get there.
You require 40.
Look at those shoulders dropping from Suljovic. Has he got enough energy in the tank? Is he hitting the wall a little bit because of the amount of darts he's playing? Well, he says up, does Mickey. Doesn't need to go up anymore in that one. It is 2-2.
The flag Mansell to throw first. Game on.
At which point of the season do we start asking that question, Murph, about tiredness and the amount of travelling that they do? Of course,
100.
Mansell had to make his way from Vienna all the way to Birmingham this week. Had to be there Wednesday. Then played Thursday night, got a draw. Then made his way back towards this area, probably through Luxembourg, came here. The travelling aspect of this sport, and any sport for that matter, is very tiring indeed. You would think that sitting on a plane, a train, or in a car would be very easy, but it does take it out of you.
Well, you made the point yesterday, Paul, that it probably doesn't matter at which point you ask that question, because there is just a continuous season in the world of darts. A bit of a break after the World Championship, but the Masters is not that far away for the top players in the world.
That's why you've got to take those constructive breaks. That's why we've asked the question of certain pros this week. Are they going to go to the midweek Pro Tour events? Are they going to skip them? Are they going to miss European Tour events? A bit like Michael Smith has done this week.
96.
I think when you've got success in the bank, it's important to then do some calendar management, which is a phrase that you coined a few games ago very well.
The two...
Do it quickly, Mickey, do it quickly.
We'll come back to that. Well, Mansell taking your time. I mean, he's not a man who rushes things, Mickey Mansell, but he
80.
just seemed to wait for that dart to fall out. Just to return to the point you were making, Paul, the two top players that are already absent from the Players' Championship doubleheader next weekend are Michael van Gerwen and Mansell Suljovic.
I think it's pretty smart.
100.
In a cluster of European Tour events from Munich to here in Saarbrücken to then go to Graz and then Sindelfingen and have Pro Tours in the middle. I think missing one of those events is smart when you've got Premier League in it as well.
This requires 68.
In fact, I think that James Wade has recently pulled out as well. I think that's a recent decision from the machine. Suljovic and Van Gerwen were never going to enter, but that dart does enter double four and give the Gentle the lead in the match again.
I think it's a smart move from James, actually, because you can create a little bit of a break for yourself once you've got success and winning 3 Pro Tour events. You could then look at the calendar and say, do you know what? I need the break now. And it's still possible for James Wade to make the World Cup team, I think. I think if he wins this tournament and maybe wins another European Tour event, he might find his way into the England team to partner Rob Cross.
100.
James Wade, the world number 9 right now. Some distance off Michael Smith in 6th position, though.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
not
probably not possible.
entirely sure what is being defended between now and then. Suljovic is in between that pair. Number 8.
190.
Mansell fires in his second max.
That's a little bit better from Mickey. Finding a bit of that segment. It is the same colour as his shirt. There's a bit of red and black going on that stage tonight. Very in sync with the stage.
60.
Mickey's one of those rare players who wears a watch on his throwing arm. Whitlock's the same.
97.
There's a young man waiting for RVB who's on later against Jermaine Watamina. He's already biting his knuckles in anticipation. Right, what is Raymond going to be using tonight as far as darts are concerned, and what mood's he going to be in?
Mickey require 84.
If he plays anything like he did last night, he's going to give Jermaine Watamina a lot of problems. No reason to go 14 ball there for Mickey.
Yeah, a long way ahead in the leg. Suljovic can try and apply some pressure in the knowledge that Mansell's missed 11 darts at double. And he's done that.
145. Mickey require 40.
Well, as I mentioned at the start of this match,
He's on the 6th leg, Mickey Mansell.
the last 2 times
7th leg, Mansell to throw
this
first.
pair met,
Game on.
they only played 6 legs. Could well only be halfway there in this one.
140.
Suljovic was nearly all the way there in that visit. The quality in this match is starting to be ramped up. It's amazing how many players, when they miss a dart like that, they say their own name. He just said Mickey.
121.
Mensah's the same. When he misses a shot, he does say Mansell. It's a way of telling themselves off. I think he just did it there. Of course, Mansell Suljovic is
100.
not the only person in this tournament who's been using his own flights. Jerry Hendricks was using the Mensa logo flights. Got 1 win. Then he was given a bit of a dusting up by Joe Cullen.
82.
Yeah, just 3 seeded players have been knocked out of the tournament today. One of them is the defending champion Max Hopp in the match before this one.
100.
Beaten by a very, very impressive John Henderson. Johnny Clayton also departed, beaten by the UK Open champ Nathan Aspinall. And Simon Whitlock earlier this afternoon knocked out by Jamie Hughes.
80.
Now that's 3 seeded players beaten, but I would argue that none of them are particularly shocking results.
I wouldn't say so. I think that Jamie Hughes performance was very good. Then again, when does Jamie Hughes not play well?
65.
Evidently angry, Mansell Suljovic. This is a very workmanlike game. You're going to have to be patient in this one.
That's certainly true.
That's the thing when you play Mickey, he works at his own pace, and it's the
90.
same to be said for Mansell Suljovic.
Well, Mensah is not going to slow Mickey Mansell down, is he? Or otherwise he would stop. But Suljovic is looking at 96 to edge ahead again. Now what does he do here?
Good lie. Perfectly used.
88.
Now we're going to see some fireworks
25.
from Mansell.
Centre bull. 25, centre bull. 60 for tops now. Ooh, clipped it. Just on the wrong side of that wire.
65.
That was a good effort from Mickey.
Just saw Suljovic kind of cursing himself after the last visit. Trying to force something out of himself here because he has struggled at times in this match. That's better. Even now he's saying to himself, why I've ended up down on double 2 again. A couple of legs where he's been chasing doubles around the board.
Well, my German or Slavic lip reading isn't up to scratch, so
Well,
I've got
that's
no
exactly
idea
what he
was
said.
saying. Not the start that Mickey was looking for.
59.
Well, it's a very good 59 after the first couple of darts. Just to give you a bit of a guide of what's still to come, we've got Michael van Gerwen, the world champion and world #1, against Dimitri van den Berg, the world youth champion. Then a clash between Two Dutchmen, an emerging one in Jermaine Watermena and a departing one in the retiring Raymond van Barneveld.
That picture of Mensah on that cup, that's from a while ago.
The winners of those two matches will meet each other tomorrow afternoon as Mansell looks to fill it up for the third time. Can't quite do it. The winner of this match will take on Daryl Gurney in the last 16.
Yeah, difficult one that at the minute. Gurney's playing well, keeping himself alive in the Premier League with a very vital win on Thursday against Peter Wright.
100.
There are some eye-catching ties, as there has been in every round of this tournament, to be fair. Peter Wright against Dave Chisnell is one of them.
Weird Aspinall for me. I'm all over that one. Love that.
Jamie Hughes could certainly cause Gerwyn Price a few problems. Joe Cullen often saves his best stuff for the European Tour stage, and he takes on Rob Cross.
Could be a really big day for someone's season tomorrow. Could well just be a standard day in the European Tour, and it could be a 31st title for MVG. But don't underestimate Dimitri tonight. He might have had an iffy performance last night, but tonight it's different. Playing against MVG, he knows what he's got to do.
Well, he's beaten him on the big stage in Germany before, in front of a bigger crowd than this. It was this man who had to stop Dimitri in the final.
God, that was a long day, wasn't it?
Well, it was, and it was a bizarre start to that final. If you remember, Dimitri and Mensah almost came to blows about the bull-up before things kicked off.
Someone's got a bully boy in an Adrian Lewis tower going. 4-4. Mansell is still grafting, and he's doing it very well. Suljovic still has the throw. You get the feeling Mickey's just working up to something. He's getting better and better and better. He's averaging 93 to Mensah's 92.
Yeah, almost identical performances.
Small mistakes like that could cost Mickey. He's the one that's got to chase. Suljovic is in control with the throw and the better start in the 9th leg. If you're in Mensah's position here, you'd be thinking hold and then really mount an assault to win 6-4.
Well, I think both players will be frustrated that they are tied at 4 apiece, because there have been many legs where both players have missed darts at double.
Right, let's have a conversation about that third dart. Why does he go bull there?
Well, you want to have a conversation, but you're kind of expecting me to know the answer, and I don't.
I'm just trying to get your insight, because he did it on Thursday night, and he's done it in the past. Sometimes he goes bull at 25 with the third dart in the leg. Will somebody please tell me why? Because I have no idea. As we look at their checkout percentages, which are exactly the same. Well, this match is about as even as it gets. Same amount of opportunities, same amount of conversions.
99.
Mensah did produce a 9-dart finish once, didn't he, on the German Super League circuit, using the bullseye at the end of every visit.
Show off. Is it 170? 170, 161, something like that. I can't
recall the exact mechanics of that leg, but he does go to that section in the middle of legs more than most.
It's becoming a bit infectious, because Gezi Price does it a little bit as well.
81.
I don't understand the logic of it. Anyway, I'm sure someone will get in touch on social media using the hashtag GDO19.
Perhaps there just is no logic to it, Paul. That might be the long and short of it.
Where does he go for this one? A lot of people go 51 first for this shot to give themselves options. But he's going up the top. I think staying there is prudent because of the lie. 29 off, leaves 102. 60's the shot. Bounce it off the top of the other one. or you just go bullseye again.
Mickey, you require 137.
That had merit this time though, because leaving 77 as opposed to 82. Mickey's not going to take the 137. And treble 19 will put him on tops.
97.
Yeah, that's good. But Suljovic here, after getting that 25, should guarantee himself
77.
one shot at a favoured double.
Yeah, but it's not guaranteed that he'll hit it based on what we've seen so far in this match.
Yeah, 27% is not world class.
Gets 2. And even before that, he takes a step back. Double 10 then. And Mansell Suljovic is now one leg away from a place in the final day at the German Darts Open. And that meeting with Daryl Gurney.
How old were you when you went to your first big darts event, Murph?
I'm not sure it would be wise for me to say.
Well, Team Suljovic has got a very young member. Mickey Mansell. Looking to mount an offensive from here. He needs to go 2 legs perfect, otherwise he's going to be packing his bag and getting the next flight back to Northern Ireland.
No, actually I can say I definitely was of legal age to partake in the festivities of a night at the Premier League darts, and I remember that Mark Webster played Terry Jenkins, I think, in Manchester. So I mean, you might be able to work out the year.
2011, I think.
Well, there we go then. So that would make me what? 18.
60.
2011, 2012, round about then.
I'm only joking. I would have been about 25. I was always looking forward to watching Paul Nicholson play in the Premier League.
Well, I'm still the only holding major champion to have not played in the next Premier League.
For what it's worth, Paul, I would have had you in.
I don't know about that. Level game in leg 9, and Mansell needs trebles. He does get a beautiful rebound off that front dart. Advantage Mansell in this one, but what would Suljovic give for a max here? It would give him a great opportunity to take this match out.
Well, you know what, I'm not sure that George Noble has ever had to wait as long between calling scores as he has in this match.
I don't know, he's very experienced.
140.
He's almost like a goalkeeper who's had nothing to do a lot of the time, having to rise to the occasion.
He's got to stay there with that lie, surely. Great dart. Brilliant visit from Mickey Mansell.
137.
Well, he's left himself poised
121.
and has asked the question of Mansell Suljovic. 121 points away from winning the match. And he's left his favourite double.
Almost surprised that he missed it. I always talk about getting the big single for the bullseye, but we know how good Suljovic is at double 14. He was always going to go for the treble. With double 12 for Mansell. Now he needs double 7.
Yeah, as does Mansell if he comes back.
Just checking. The last thing you want to do is go for the wrong double. I think Mickey Mansell's been very smart there.
Yeah, having hit the wrong double, you don't want to aim for the wrong double with the next dart. He's aimed for the right one, and he's found it, and he's fired up here, Mickey Mansell.
Yeah, you do not want to get on the wrong side of an aggressive Northern Irishman.
Final leg, Mansell to throw first. Game on.
This definitely will be the final leg.
Where's your money?
In my pocket.
Good man. Smart. Good start from Suljovic.
37.
The advantage of throw in this match has been massive. Suljovic has missed a match dart.
Yeah, Suljovic had a 2-leg cushion at the start of it. Mansell had missed darts to win both of those legs himself. He then levelled up at 2 apiece, and since then they've just held on to their own throw.
Question here is, does Mickey Mansell have enough confidence right now to get the job done here? Because of what's happened in the last couple of months, his form has been questioned, let's say. Not so much with Suljovic. He maybe has that extra 2 or 3% of confidence, and it's starting to show in this last leg.
Mansell's not had the greatest year himself so far, has he? But his best stuff has come on the European tour.
He doesn't play a lot of the Pro Tour action in between Premier Leagues. He's hopping between Vienna and the United Kingdom and Premier League venues, and he's picking and choosing what he's doing.
Yeah, he was a semi-finalist at the European Darts Open, beaten only 7-5 by Michael van Gerwen. And of course a quarter-finalist last weekend and beaten only 6-5 by Rob Cross.
That was one hell of a game.
As has this been.
Good stats.
Different reasons, perhaps.
Mickey Mansell is not going to leave a finish from 3-3-1.
Well, Mansell got a dart for the 1-2-1 to win in the last leg.
It's different now, though. Murphy's got no pressure on him.
Yeah,
he can do whatever he wants.
Have as many darts as he likes.
Get a 60 here. You go for a nice fat 48 down at the bottom left and double 8. Simple as that. Get the job done right here. Doesn't have to go for the 54 here. And now he's covered the bed, you see. If you go on the 60, you've got options.
And now he's trying to work out his options, Mansell Suljovic.
So 86. Now the prudent shot is 54, but he's covered it. Let's just go big 18 here. Yeah, that'll do.
56.
He didn't like it, so he's left himself 68. Mansell needs the lot really here, doesn't he?
And snookers.
Needs to fill it up and just ask a little question of Mansell Suljovic.
Give it some welly, Mickey.
140.
Oh, yeah, you're right. He needed the lot. And he needs one miss from Suljovic, possibly 2. Double 16 for 6-5.
Well, he's missed it, and I'm wondering, did Mansell Suljovic go double top with that first dart?
No, I think he wanted to be on double 16. I think he was going big 20 there. I don't think he thinks that Mickey Mansell's going to take this 150, and he isn't going to do so. So Suljovic gets 3 more match darts. He's already had 4.
Well, I said earlier in this match that this pair aren't going to be able to slow each other down, but they've actually managed it.
65. He requires 60.
I said if they slowed each other down anymore, they would stop. This would make it stop. And Suljovic brings an end to proceedings, a 6-5 win over Mickey Mansell. And that is just about the only dart that Suljovic enjoyed in the match, but he moves through to the final day of action, and he will face Super Chin Daryl Gurney tomorrow. The pair have a discussion about what's just happened. 6-0 the last couple of times they met, but today it went all the way down to a last leg decider, and Mansell Suljovic won. They make way for Michael van Gerwen and Dimitri Vandenberg. That's coming next, and then Jermaine Watermaner takes on Barney at the German Darts Open.
Für Mansell Suljovic mit 6:5 gewinnt er gegen Mickey Mansell aus Nordirland. Und damit zieht auch Mansell in das Achtelfinale ein. Applaus für Mickey. Mansell, ich habe zwischendurch gedacht, ihr werdet das Spiel nicht zu Ende bringen. Das war ein zähes Ringen, das war ein richtiger Kampf, ne?
Ah, wirklich, wir haben beide sehr schlecht gestartet. Er hat verpasst die erste 2 Leg, die Doppel. Ich habe genutzt 2-0 die Führung, dann verpasst ich und dann steht 2-2. Dann haben wir begonnen, beide zu spielen, aber das war wirklich ein harter Kampf. Ich habe letztes Mal gegen den Kerl 6-0 verloren. Ich wollte heute nicht.
Daryl Gurney ist, glaube ich, der Nächste, ne?
Ja, weiß ich nicht. Ich habe nicht einmal geschaut.
Du schaust gar nicht nach.
Niemals. Ich schaue immer Statistiken, gegen ich spiele, aber nächste Runde schaue ich nie. Ich muss erste Runde überstehen, dann ist mir egal.
Okay, also ich glaube, Daryl Gurney ist es, weil ihr spielt Premier League gerade zusammen. Ihr verbringt viel Zeit miteinander. Das ist schon ein knackiges Duell.
Ja, auf jeden Fall. Wenn der letzte Donnerstag super gespielt. Ich gebe mir bestens. Ich bin froh, dass ich heute gewonnen habe. Morgen ist ein anderer Tag. Ich hoffe, geht's besser.
Du hast die ganze Familie mitgebracht. Selbst die kleine Tochter ist mit dabei. Die muss ins Bett,
ja.
Menzo. Es ist schon spät.
Nein, die schlaft vor 2 Uhr, schlaft sie nicht. Das ist mein bestes Stückchen. Meine Frau ist dabei, mein Tarek ist dabei, und Emma ist dabei. Danke.
Wunderbar. Menzo, vielen Dank. Menzo Suljovic steht